Greetings all, Devious Monkey here. Today I'm going to talk about plans not quite coming together. That old A-team adage, I love it when a plan comes together. That was not the case today. I went to Harbor Freight Tools to buy the tiles, the little foam tiles, well not little, but the foam tiles for the new office design. They didn't have any. And that got me thinking, maybe that was a shitty idea anyways. So that was it. I mean, I'm not going to pay the exorbitant amount of money that they cost at Home Depot, and I also wasn't going to order like 50 of them off of Amazon. That idea went out the window. Then I thought to myself, you know what? I can just paint the entire wall that dark cobalt blue, and it's going to look great. I haven't decided if I'm going to put the tiles back up, but it may be in a different pattern. We'll see. It just depends on how much work this is going to be. I really got to think about this. I have, if you can see the line of screws, those are specifically going into joists, rather than just going into drywall. Because I mean, even though this is fairly thin tile, it's still pretty heavy, especially when you put an entire wall worth of them up there. So I didn't really want to mess with that. So I took the time to get a stud finder, and I found all the studs so that I knew I was screwing in and having that extra hold. Let's talk about the elephant in the room too. Obviously, I look different. So I got a text from my sister, and she's like, did you change your hair? Did you dye your hair or something? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she said, your picture looks different. And I was like, you're gonna have to be more specific. What picture? And she said, well, when I get on this chat, there's a picture that's associated with you. And I was like, you're gonna have to be more specific even then, because I use different pictures on like every single one of my social media platforms. And she actually took a screenshot and sent it to me. And then I realized it was the memoji that I created when I bought the new iPhone 11 Pro Max back in December. And I haven't even thought about it because I don't use it anywhere as far as I knew, but apparently it was being used. Well, I looked at it, and again, that was back in December. So my head was shaved bald, and I had just a simple, it's not really a goatee, it's not really a Van Dyke, because I don't have a manly enough beard to grow all that shit in. So basically it's a mustache and this shit down here. And I was like, well, all right, I can't live with that because I don't look like that anymore. So I started going through the memoji builder to try to make one that looked like me. Problem was, I could not find anything that looked like me at all. Like the facial hair was wrong, the sideburns, all that shit was wrong. And it bothered me. And I asked my wife if she had ever set hers up, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I showed her how to do it. So she started creating one for herself. And I went in and I realized that there was not a single memoji that I could come up with that looked like me. That's when I did what I usually do. I go off the deep end, and on a whim, I change how I look. So I ended up going into the bathroom, and I shaved off my mustache and trimmed all this down and got rid of all of my chin strap to leave it with just the sideburns so that I would match what the memoji looked like. And I took a picture of myself with my older, darker glasses on, my Ray-Ban, glasses, and I put my hat on and tore the patch off so it was like a total, like black hat. And then I posted that to a couple of my social medias, like my Facebook, Tumblr, and my Instagram. And it just took off like, a banshee. And I got a lot of comments on it, and a lot of likes because I made it look so good. The weird thing was that they actually had a mole as well. So some smart aleck told me that, hey, the mole's on the wrong side. So I just covered that up and said, yeah, it's a mirror image. That's why I changed all this stuff. I guess I keep saying the word antsy. I get antsy. Obviously I'm antsy. The fact that I'm going to tear all this shit off my wall and completely redo, my studio side of the office. And I altered my physical appearance. I also went today and I bought new glasses. So these are the older glasses. These are the Ray-Bans that I first got when I realized that I'm old and I can't see close up. So I ended up getting these glasses, which I've always liked. The sides are carbon fiber, so it's really light. And I think I look decent in them. Then I decided that I needed to get new glasses because it had been a few years and I felt like those weren't quite doing the job. Like something didn't feel right. And I ended up getting these. And they're very, very minimal, and they're made of a bendable titanium. I got like the blue blocker shit in it for looking at computers and screens all day, and I got transition so that they darken when I'm outside. and shit like that. The problem is that they're so small that there's a very, very fine line of where you can look. So I'm constantly like going like this when I'm trying to look at shit, and I look like, well, people are probably like, "The fuck's wrong with that guy?" And so at one point I started getting headaches, and I went in and I was like, you know what? These glasses, there's something wrong with them. I don't know if my prescription changed or whatever. And and I took these in with me, and I was like, these are fine, but they dig into my head and they bug me and I get a headache, blah, blah, blah. So the woman was like, I can tell you what your problem is right now and I can fix them both. So I didn't think you could do anything with this carbon fiber, but she was able to alter these so that they don't dig into my head and they're very comfortable again. And then with these, they were just ever slightly crooked on my melon. So my one eye was seeing like at the right distance spot, and then my other eye was seeing at a different distance spot, however you want to put it on it. Ooh, Jesus, now I'm putting them on and off, getting all fucked up. So she readjusted them and they were perfect. So they're both great and all that kind of stuff, but they both are different in that the Ray-Bans are comfortable and I really like them and I like the way they look, and they're comfortable now, but they don't have the transition in them. So if I go outside in the sun, I'm blinded. Like it's just too bright. And since I live in Virginia Beach and it's sunny a lot or bright a lot, that's an issue. And then with these, they're great, except that they're just not quite big enough. They're not right. Yes, they're transitioned, so they're like sunglasses. The ability to focus on things, with a very slight turn of my head, it starts to warp me out. So what I did was, this is actually you can't quite see it, but maybe you can see it there. They're blue. They're like a faded, almost grayish blue, that part, and then it's carbon fiber, so it's dark, but on the inside it's kind of blue. They did have a black pair. So the first time I went in to get these, I put on the black ones and I was like, oh man, those are really comfortable and they look good and I really like them. And he says, you know what? We just got this other one in. Let me see if I have one left. And it was this blue one, and it immediately struck a chord with me and I liked it. So I got it, and I never got the black ones. So I went to Pearl Vision today, and because it hasn't been over the time period where they won't use an old prescription and they did it, I didn't have to get an eye exam. I didn't have to get the dilation or any of that shit. I was just able to order new glasses. So they happen to have that one in the original black that I had seen, because when I went there last time, they didn't have it. This time they did. So I got those Ray-Bans in the black, and this time I got a new Transitions Vantage, which actually are really neat. As they darken, they also take on polarization characteristics. So it cuts down on the glare too. I guess before they weren't able to do that, you'd put polarization by putting a thin plastic piece over the lens, and it was either polarized or it wasn't. You couldn't put them on a clear lens, it didn't work. Now, apparently they can do that. There's some kind of process that somebody came up with so that the brighter it gets outside, as the lens gets darker, it takes on more polarization, which I'm thrilled with because I missed having that in sunglasses because I'm wearing these all the time. So I'm getting new glasses. Hopefully it doesn't take forever because I'm like, yeah, I can't wait. So again, the theme of this whole video is when shit just doesn't quite work out the way you want. When your plans don't quite work out the way you had planned them. So the office is going to change again from what I had originally intended just yesterday, and my glasses ended up not really working out the way that I had intended when I got them not even 6 months ago, and I'm fixing all that stuff. So I did go to Home Depot, I got the paint mixed up, I got enough paint to do the entire wall, and I ordered glasses today. And I'm looking forward to that. Oh, and because I changed my appearance. My wife's not set on this because she's not used to seeing me without a mustache. She actually does not like me without facial hair. She says I look creepy. I don't like me without facial hair because I think I have a turkey neck and it bothers me. So I will always have this on here. And I started doing that chin strap because it made it a little less evident. I realized that is a personal issue of mine, but hey, we all have our shit that we deal with. And mine is I cannot stand this turkey neck that I've had my entire life, even though it isn't anything stupid. Okay, that's it. That's all I got for you today. This weekend, I'm gonna start, like tomorrow, tomorrow I plan on doing all this. So I'm gonna time lapse the whole thing from beginning to end, where I move all the furniture, I yank all that shit off the wall, I fix all the holes, put everything back together, paint it, and then put all the furniture where I want it, and I'm gonna clean this off completely. It's gonna look completely different, and I'm totally stoked for it. So hopefully, you're looking forward to seeing it too. That's it for today. That's all I got. Thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe, and all that shit. And remember, kids, forward and up.